news about that. Because nobody likes to feel that sense of frustration, and especially people who have been engaging in a spiritual practice feel like, or want to feel at least, like, well, I've transcended all of that, you know, I'm spiritually advanced. But when something like that happens, it's showing us clearly that that's not the case. Now, to be sure, people have made, I'm sure that they have made lots and lots of progress. And so the good news is that these frustrations that we encounter in our daily lives are just showing us the next step that we have to take. It's showing us the issues that we have not yet resolved that are keeping us from making even more spiritual progress than we've already made. But a lot of times, it's very difficult to let go. Like in my example, during Monday, you know, the events that were happening on Monday, I could literally feel the frustration starting to build up, this sense of exasperation, this sense of, why is this happening this way? Or this shouldn't be happening this way. And simultaneously telling myself, hey, relax. You know, Zen is accepting things as they are right in this moment. Why are you getting upset? Just let go of it. But I couldn't let go of it just by thinking about it. And that's the dilemma that many people who follow a spiritual path find themselves in. They understand, they realize right away that this reaction that's coming up is not a spiritual reaction. It's not letting go. But they feel powerless to be able to stop it and reverse it. And that's why I think these techniques, the breathing technique, expanding your attention, doing a releasing technique like EFT, are so important because they are tools that we can use to help us to release until we get to that point where, like the Buddha, we simply are like mirrors and we just release things as they happen. There's no holding on to them. In one of my last Dharma talks, I spoke about the idea of negative emotions being like a red-hot coal. And that if you held out your hand and I dropped a red-hot coal in your hand, you would drop it as soon as you possibly could. And that if negative emotions can be, you can imagine that negative emotions are like a red-hot coal, but felt internally. If we would so quickly and so easily drop a physical red-hot coal, why do we have so much trouble dropping the emotional one that occurs within us? And it boils down to fear. And that fear is the block to our spiritual progress. The fear has to do with letting go of something that has served to keep us safe in the past when we were experiencing negative events in our lives. So that anger reaction, frustration reaction, exasperation reaction, whatever you want to call it, that reaction is a defense mechanism that we've used. And we don't want to let go of our defense mechanisms very easily. And so it takes time. I can recall several times during my past when I would be hit with a situation and it would really throw me for a loop. I mean, I would be in a foul, foul mood, and I had moods sometimes that would last for days and days and days. And I got to a point in my spiritual practice where when I felt that mood coming on, I would realize, hey, you're doing it again. You're going into that mood. Don't go there. Just let it go. Drop it. And I wasn't able to do it. I was not able to just drop it. And if that's the case, then the only thing that you can do, the best thing that you can do, is simply to acknowledge it. If you can't let go of it, at least acknowledge that it is a mood, that it is a defensive reaction, that you don't want to be feeling it, but you're not going to try and fight it. You just accept it as it is. And just in that acceptance, it will start to fade. But then if you have some of these other tools, you can help it to fade a little more quickly and a little more comfortably, as long as you're willing to use the tools. So all of us go through our days of hell, or days from hell, and we have to look at them as opportunities. As much as I disliked it at the time, I was not a very happy camper on Monday through most of the day. But as I realized that level of negative emotion was building, I would take steps to reduce it and to let it go. And the more we do that, the easier it will be to let go of things in the future, so that even major annoyances will not have the same sting that they had. Because like I said, the things that happened to me on Monday were not biggies, but they were really getting under my skin. And so it really pointed out how much of this level of perfectionism I'm still carrying with me, and how I need to let it go. So that's my opportunity for right now. Okay. Any questions, comments, observations, discussion? One comment, okay. Okay, I'm going to have to address these one at a time. Let me see. Okay, Mikey, is that a question that you want me to comment on, or you just want to say that this turned into an eye-opening experience? Is there something you want me to comment on? Okay. If not, Kate,